In this Unity tutorial I will show you how to make this AI pathfinding system, where this AI always follows the player. So let's get started. To start off we will go to this GitHub, I have a link for this in the description. Then you will click on code and you'll click download zip. When that is downloaded we can unzip it. Now open up this folder and we will drag NavMesh components into Unity. Right here just click on yes. Then we'll click in our hierarchy and create an empty game object which we will call environment. And then under that we can create a 2D object, for example a square. This will be a walkable area for the AI. I'll just upscale it, like so. You actually don't need a color for this, so we can just make it transparent if we want to, so I'll do that. Now attach the navigation modifier to this ground. It's from this package we downloaded in the beginning. Then create an empty game object called NavMesh. Now add a navigation surface to the NavMesh. Then we add another component called navigation collect sources 2D. Now click rotate surfaces to XY and you can now click bake. You should now see the NavMesh in the scene view, and this is where the enemies and such are gonna walk around. Now to make the walls actually act like walls, we'll select both of them and then we'll add a navigation modifier to those two and we'll select override area. And instead of doing walkable, we'll do not walkable. And right now if we try to press bake, nothing will happen because our walls is at C0, but I made a mistake, and if you look at the environment, it's set to another position, so it needs to be at 0 on the C axis, also this one, and also the nav mesh, like so. And now we can press bake, and our walls are baked in now. Now we're gonna make an enemy which is gonna follow the player. So right click, go to 2D object, go to sprites, and we'll do a circle. We'll make it red because it's an enemy. I'll call it enemy. Now we'll create a new C# script called enemy. Open that up. In here we'll add the library unityengine.ai and delete the comments. Then we'll add a public transform called target. So this is going to be the player in this case. And then we'll add a private navmesh agent called agent. And in the start function, we'll simply do agent equals getComponent navmesh agent. And then agent.update rotation will be false. And agent.update up axis will also be false. Then in the update function, we can simply do agent.setDestination, where we'll input target.position. That's all we need in here. Go back into Unity. We can go to our enemy, add the enemy script, and also the navmesh agent. Now we can drag our player onto the target reference. I'll set the speed to 2, so it's a bit slower, and I'll place our enemy up here. Then I'll press play. And now the enemy follows the player wherever I go.